Have you ever watched someone lie so confidently, so boldly, that for a moment, the whole courtroom froze unsure whether to believe their story or burst into laughter? Well, today's story is about exactly that kind of moment. A moment where the truth didn't come from a witness, not from a lawyer, not even from Judge Judy herself, but from an unexpected hero, a dog. And not just any dog, Judge Judy's own loyal companion. Before we go any further, welcome back to the channel. If you love real courtroom drama twists, emotions, justice, and jaw-dropping moments, then you're in the right place. This is Court Cases Stories, where we bring you some of the most unbelievable cases ever seen on TV. Now, let's get into it. It was supposed to be a simple small claims case, a dispute over $3,500, nothing unusual for the courtroom. But from the moment the defendant walked in, the entire atmosphere shifted. Her name was Karen Whitmore, a woman in her late 40s with a stiff posture, oversized sunglasses, and a dramatic white cane tapping loudly with every step. Tap, tap, tap. She performed every movement like she was on stage, dragging her feet, raising her chin, letting her hands tremble as she found her way to the defendant's podium. At first glance, she looked like a woman who had been through something terrible, someone dealing with a new disability. The audience murmured softly, some sympathetic, others skeptical. But the plaintiff, a younger woman named Emily Dawson, looked furious, not sad, not confused, furious. Judge Judy entered, sharp as ever, and immediately narrowed her eyes at the scene. Judy raised an eyebrow. "Mum, do you need assistance?" Karen exaggerated her voice. "Why, yes, Your Honor. I recently lost my vision. I can barely see shadows." The courtroom gasped. Emily let out a noise of disbelief so loud that Judge Judy snapped her head toward her. "You have something you'd like to say, Miss Dawson?" Emily clenched her jaw. "Yes, Your Honor. She is not blind." Judge Judy looked back at Karen. "Is that true? Are you faking this blindness?" Karen shook her head dramatically, almost like she had rehearsed it. "Absolutely not. I'm a victim in all of this." Judy leaned forward. "We'll see." The case was already electric. Viewers at home had no idea that by the end of this hearing, one simple dog would expose one very complicated lie. According to Emily, she and Karen lived in the same apartment building. They weren't close, but they knew each other well enough to exchange the occasional hello. That changed the day Karen borrowed Emily's brand new electric scooter, a mobility scooter Emily had purchased for her injured knee. Karen said she just needed it to run a quick errand. Emily trusted her, but 2 hours later, Karen returned with the scooter completely wrecked. The front wheel bent inward, the side crushed, the battery casing cracked. The repair cost alone was nearly $3,500. Emily confronted her, and that's when Karen suddenly claimed she was losing her vision and bumped into something she didn't see. Emily didn't believe it then, and she didn't believe it now. She was perfectly fine 2 days before, Emily said in court, driving her car, walking around, reading her mail, everything. Karen interrupted dramatically. "I told her I have early-stage optical degeneration." Emily threw up her hands. "You told me that after you destroyed my scooter." The tension snapped like a rubber band. The courtroom leaned forward, waiting for Judge Judy's reaction. And she didn't waste time. "Miss Whitmore," Judy said sternly, "how long have you claimed to be blind?" Karen pressed her lips together. "About 6 weeks. Do you have medical records?" Karen hesitated. I didn't bring them." "Did you tell my court you were blind before today?" Another pause. "Well, I assumed it was obvious." Judge Judy leaned back in her chair, unimpressed. So you didn't notify anyone, didn't provide any documentation, and suddenly became blind right after you damaged her scooter?" Karen swallowed hard. "That's how the timing worked out." Emily rolled her eyes so hard the audience laughed. Judge Judy shot the audience a glare, and they instantly quieted. But Judy wasn't done. "Miss Whitmore, blindness does not conveniently arrive when a bill does." Karen gasped, pretending to be hurt. "I can't believe you'd say that about someone with a disability." But Judge Judy wasn't buying the sympathy act. Not for a second. The more Karen talked, the more suspicious things became. She never tripped. She never missed Judy's voice direction. She turned her head exactly toward whoever was speaking. And when someone dropped a pen behind her, her eyes flicked toward the sound. Judge Judy noticed everything, but even with all the inconsistencies, Karen stayed committed to her performance. She kept tapping that cane, waving her free hand around like she was feeling the air in front of her. At one point, she even asked the bailiff, "Is that you?" Despite him not moving a muscle. The audience found it both amusing and frustrating, just like Judy did. "Miss Whitmore," Judy finally said, "your behavior today is very interesting." Karen held her chin high. "I'm doing my best, Your Honor. Navigating the world without sight is difficult." Emily muttered under her breath. "Yeah, because you've never tried it before today." Judy snapped back to Emily. "Miss Dawson, I will handle this." Then she looked directly at Karen. "Let me be clear, if you are lying to me, you will not like the results." Karen swallowed again, but she didn't stop the act. In fact, she doubled down. As the case continued, Judy began asking about the scooter damage. "Describe what happened." "To the best of your ability," Karen sighed. "Well, I was borrowing the scooter, and I couldn't see the curb. I accidentally hit it." Judy raised her eyebrow. "Why were you using a scooter if you couldn't see?" Karen froze. "Because I didn't want to bother anyone with my disability." Emily crossed her arms. "She didn't want to bother anyone? She used my $3,500 scooter like it was a toy." Judge Judy held up her hand. "Enough." Just then, something unexpected happened. A soft shuffle echoed from the side door. Then the courtroom doors opened again, slowly. In trotted a small, fluffy, white dog with a pink collar and a wagging tail. The whole courtroom murmured. It was Judge Judy's dog, a friendly little furball named Luna, who sometimes sat quietly in the judge's chambers during tapings. But not today. Today, Luna walked straight into the courtroom as if she sensed something important was going on. The bailiff tried to call her back, but Luna ignored him and walked right to the center of the courtroom, right toward Karen. What happened next shocked everyone. Luna stopped beside Karen's leg, lifted her tiny head, and Karen, who was supposedly blind, looked right down at the dog. Not just looked, she smiled, a big, genuine, delighted smile, like she had forgotten for a moment that she was supposed to be blind. The entire courtroom gasped in unison. Judge Judy didn't miss the moment. Her voice cut the air like a sharpened blade. "Miss Whitmore, you just looked at my dog." Karen's body froze. She jerked her head back up, too late to hide it. "And no, I only sensed something near me." Judy leaned forward, eyes blazing with the fury of 1,000 court cases. "You looked right at her." The courtroom exploded with whispers. Karen stuttered. I can detect movement and light." Judy slammed her hand on the bench. "Your eyes followed her. You didn't react to movement. You reacted to recognition." Emily's jaw dropped. "See, what did I tell you?" Karen tried again. "It's a miracle. I'm healing." Judy stared at her like she had just grown 3 heads. "A miracle? Conveniently timed to the second my dog walked in?" Karen nodded rapidly. "Yes. God works in mysterious ways." The audience laughed. Even the bailiff smirked. But Judge Judy was done. Beyond done. Judy leaned back and folded her arms. "Miss Whitmore, you have insulted the intelligence of this court. You have faked a disability, lied under oath, and attempted to use blindness as an excuse to avoid responsibility." Karen's voice cracked. I didn't mean, I just," Judy interrupted firmly. "Save it. You are going to repay Miss Dawson the full $3,500 for the scooter, plus court costs." Karen's jaw dropped open. "What? But I'm disabled." Judy raised a single eyebrow. "Not today, you're not." The audience burst into laughter. "And one more thing," Judy added. "You owe an apology to every truly blind person who has to fight for accommodations every single day. People like you make their lives harder with your selfish lies." Karen lowered her head. For the first time all day, she didn't fake or exaggerate her movements. She looked genuinely embarrassed. Emily felt a wave of relief. "Thank you, Your Honor." "Truly," Judge Judy nodded. Case dismissed. The gavel crashed. The courtroom buzzed with disbelief. But Emily wasn't thinking about Karen. She was thinking about that tiny dog, the one who unintentionally exposed a lie, bigger than the case itself. As she walked out, she saw Judge Judy kneel down and pet Luna, who wagged her tail proudly. The little hero had no idea she had changed the entire outcome of the case. She just knew she made her owner happy. After the episode aired, the clip went viral across social media. Millions of people watched as a small dog did what months of arguments couldn't do: prove the truth. People praised Emily for standing up for herself. Others slammed Karen for faking a disability. But the biggest star of all was Luna. The moment became one of the most iconic scenes in the history of courtroom television. But beyond the jokes, the memes, and the headlines, the case delivered a powerful reminder: the truth doesn't need theatrics. It just needs the right moment, and sometimes the right dog. Emily later replaced her scooter with the money Karen was ordered to pay. Karen, embarrassed and exposed, reportedly moved out of the apartment complex a few months later. As for Luna, she got a brand new pink collar, extra treats, and more fan mail than some celebrities. And Judge Judy? She simply said, "My dog has excellent judgment." If you enjoyed this story, this mix of drama, justice, and a little bit of canine brilliance, then stick around. We tell these real courtroom stories because they remind us that truth always shows up, even if it walks in on for tiny paws. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe so you never miss a moment from Court Cases Stories. Thanks for watching. Until next time.